Welcome back, Heroclix fans. Today I have a very special unboxing for you, and to all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans, this is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroclix 6-figure starter set Series 1. So this is actually the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures we actually have so far. I believe the main set was delayed a little bit, and we're not going to get it probably until April, but we have the starter sets. And here we are. We're going to unbox this, take a look at the dials, take a look at the map, see what you get if you purchase this starter set. So hopefully we get some Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroclix. And I took a look at these dials, and they are very standard. They don't have any special powers, even though there are a couple new mechanics like traps and spells. But it's pretty cool though. This is a really good starter set to get new players in the game that used to or play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's a simple version and the figures are pretty good. As you guys probably know, I am not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, so I'm not familiar with the characters or pretty much anything about the game, but I am very happy. But I am very thrilled that this is coming out, and it's a good way potentially to get some new players, so I'm thrilled about that. And I always like new kind of cool characters, and these are pretty cool looking. We got dragons, mages, trolls. That's really, really cool. And if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm sure that's very basic to you and it's very standard, but for Heroclix players, these are different. You know, we used to like Marvel and DC characters, so these are different, but it's pretty cool. So as you see here, you get 2 double-sided maps, 6 character cards, 6 characters, tokens, objects, rule book, powers and ability card, and some dice. So let's open this up and let's check it out. Alright, so we opened up the package and this is what you get. And it's like, wow, that's a lot of cool stuff. And if you're not familiar with Heroclix, I'm going to go through these and I'll tell you what they are. So this is our double-sided map. All you can see is one side here. If you fold it out, then there'll be another side with another map. So that's pretty cool. We have our 6 character cards. We have our 6 characters, and I will go in detail of their sculpts and their dials after all this. And we have some dice here. You can use these ones. These are actually better than the normal dice they give you, which are small dice. And they did really, really good with the dice from the Avengers and X-Men AVX starters. But these ones are pretty good stand-ins. Then we have objects back here, light, heavy. Then we have terrain markers, special, smoke, and barrier. Our powers and abilities card right here, which will tell you all of the powers and how to use them. So that's really, really useful, especially for new players trying to learn the game. Then our core rule book back here. It's good to go through that, catch up on the rules of the game. And for Yu-Gi-Oh! There is actually a special rule book, little guide here for special rules to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroclix. They kind of have a different life points and such, so that is pretty cool. Alright, so we're taking a look at the double-sided maps, and as you can see here, we have a very awesome hindering map here with a bunch of trees and shrubbery to give you stealth or bonuses to your defense from range attacks. This looks like a very fun map. There are some blocking terrain with these big blocks there. So that's pretty cool though. I mean, this looks like it'll be a fun map for Batman. And like if you look at it, you can move pretty freely throughout the middle as well. So really nice woods map, and I like it quite a bit. This should be a fun map to play on for a lot of teams. Here we have another outdoor map. It looks like it's somewhat of a castle, and we start on level 1 here, and then we move up to level 2, then level 3, and then all the way to level 4 up top, like a temple type thing actually. So this looks really, really cool, and I don't know. It looks like it's going to be pretty easy to start off with. You start off on level 2 or level 3. So you can kind of like, pretty much you'll be starting off in this central area. But there's some blocking terrains with the pillars here with the big blocks and different elevations. This will be a very interesting map. You know, there might be some battles to get to the top right here or the low ground. Even though the low ground is not typically the best ground, but depends, you know, to be on the edge is, you know, pretty good. So I don't know. This is a pretty Pretty cool map. And there's a little bit of hindering, like right there and right there. But for the most part, this is wide open with some blocking terrain and different elevations. All right, so now for the part you've been waiting for. Let's take a look at each one of these characters. And let's start off with the Dark Magician. And he's 150 points, run and shot character with 8 range, 4 damage, 11 attack, impervious. It's a pretty solid character. Then we have Breaker, the Magical Warrior. He's a Charger, Blades, Exploit character with Invulnerability. Pretty solid piece as well. 100 points, so that's pretty good. Then we have the Feral Imp for 50 points, which is a Charge, Blades, and Combat Reflexes with 2 damage. But for 50 points, that's pretty good actually, because the other character, the Breaker, the Magical Warrior, is 100 points, 50 points more, and has a lot of the same similar stuff, but he has Exploit, Weakness, and Invulnerability. But not bad, not bad at all. Then we have Blue Eyes White Dragon, Flyer, 7 range, single target, run and shot, Psychic Blast, 11, 4 damage, impervious. So the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon are similar, but I would have to give the edge to the dragon because of the Psychic Blast that goes through damage reducers. But Prob is a good support power. And then we have Hitsumi Giant, I believe that's how you say it. Or like I said, I'm not going to go through all the names and stuff because I honestly do not know how to pronounce this game's characters. But let's go through this guy. He is a charged, super strength, invulnerable character. 100 points or 10 points because I think he has a trap. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not too sure exactly how that works. But over the coming days and weeks, I will start to study a little bit more about how to play the Yu-Gi-Oh version of Heroclix and probably do a demo of that or teach you how to play that version of this Heroclix game. Then we have Des Feral Imp. He's another Feral Imp. Is a stealthy character, solid attack and damage and super sense as defense. But then if you push him, he goes into charge, blades, and super senses. So let's go through the dials here real quick and give you guys my thoughts. These are really solid stats for the points. There is no Indom. Actually, there's no Indom or willpower on any of these clicks that I've seen, especially not the Indom on the base. Still impervious, attack drops a little bit. Movement, but then we have Prob. Now we have Run Shot, Psychic Blast, Outwit. That's really good. Take away powers and Invuln. Then we lose the Run Shot. We have Phase In now, so we can go through walls and such. Now we drop down to Toughness. Now we have Pulse Wave, which is a very nice power. Goes through all powers. And then we have 2 clicks, and we KO on 9 for 150 points. That's pretty solid. And we have, so let's take a look at Breaker, the Magical Warrior. We have Run and Shot, Blades, Exploit, and Invulnerability for 100 points. I can see this being a very good figure. Solid attack, make sure you get a hit, and then it's going to penetrate damage. That's good. We drop a little bit here, still got the pin. Exploit weakness, then we have the blades. Stats just drop a little bit, but if you use blades, the 2 damage is not going to really be a major factor at all. Then we drop into Flurry Exploit. You have to pick one or the other. If you choose Flurry, you can't use Exploit. If you choose Exploit, then you're not going to be able to Flurry, but the options are good. 3 damage is solid. Now we lose the Exploit, and basically we're just going to be doing Flurry here. Now our damage goes up, so that's good. Oh, our attack goes up, our damage goes down. Now we have Charge. Wow, we're getting better stats, but the defense continues to drop, but your attack goes up, and now you have 3 damage and Exploit Weakness to go through damage reducers. And you KO at 8. For 100 points, this is a really good figure. And we have the Feral Imp here. Charge, Blades, Combat Reflexes, so from close combat he's going to be an 18. Similar stats here. Now we have Leap Climb, but we have 17 combat reflexes. Now we go into Toughness, Close Combat Expert, so that's pretty good. You give the option if you want to boost your damage by 2 or boost your attack by 2 or give yourself boost of 1 attack and 1 damage. That's good. Our attack goes up. Now we have Flurry and Blades. That's always a fun combination. And we KO at 7, but for 50 points, yeah, he'll get some use. Alright, so we're taking a look at the blue-eyed white dragon. This is going to be a really cool figure. It looks really good as well, and I know a lot of people were excited to see that this gets released. And let's take a look at the dial. It's actually pretty solid. He's a flyer, so he can actually carry these grounded characters. But we have Run and Shot, Psychic Blast, Leadership and Impervious. Defense is kind of low, 17, but that 4 damage and that 11 attack with Psychic Blast is very nice. And basically from there we just lose our attack down to a 10, which is still okay, especially for this set. It should still hold up pretty well. Now we have very similar stuff here. We just lose Impervious and get Invulnerability. Now we have Hypersonic and Energy Explosion. Can't use them together, but you know, it's pretty good though. I like the Hypersonic, and that should be very useful in this set as well. Hypersonic. So this is basically, you're going to decide if you want to hypersonic around, zip and boom and pop, or you're going to stand still and blast away. Range Combat Expert. From a range attack, you can boost up your stats as well. That's pretty good. Some more hypersonic, which is just incredible. Stats do kind of start to drop off by now though. Lose all those special powers, and we just have toughness and energy explosion. Continued with that, and then we KO at 9. This is a really strong dial, you know, top dial, and then middle through the dial, he's got the hypersonic, so that's pretty solid. But late dial, he kind of tapers off. It's going to be a top-heavy figure, but I can see some uses for him, and he's a pretty solid piece. All right, so here we have our giant here. Let's take a look at the dial. I think it's going to be a solid dial. We have Charge, Super Strength, Invulnerability, and Battle Fury, so it can't be mind controlled, which is, you know, it's all good. And potential to do 5 damage with that Super Strength. And we just drop a little bit on our attack and continue to stay the same. I think we lost a movement. Yeah, we did. Now we have Flurry, Super Strength, and Close Combat Expert. That's a good combination. You basically can decide what you want to do, if you want to pump up the damage or attack, or go for the Flurry. I like that click. Gives you options depending on the situation. But Flurry and 3 damage is not bad. The 9 is a little low though. Same option here, just lower damage. So you might want to do the Close Combat Expert this time. Now we have Regeneration, or we can attack. Basically regen or attack. And depending on the situation, you'll know what to do. Now we're more in the... we have really one option, unless you know you can KO your opponent to try to regen and heal up. And KO's at 8, but for 100 points, it's a pretty solid piece. Alright, so here we have another Feral Imp here. Let's take a look at this guy. He is stealthy to start off with super senses, solid attack, solid damage. He's 50 points, so I like him already. And boom, now we get into attack mode. We're charging, blades and super senses, so he's like, can't hit me. And then we click to see if we do take a hit. Stats go down a little bit here in damage, but it's okay. Alright, so now we get a little bit different. We get toughness, so damage reduced 1 damage. Now we have Quake. Depending on the situation, Quake could be pretty good. It only does 2 damage to everyone around you and knocks him back, but the 3 damage there is pretty good. Depending on the situation, what you want to do. Alright, now we are kind of debating what we want to do. Our attack is pretty low with an 8. 3 damage is still pretty good though. We have Leap Climb, so we can get to places, and maybe you want to get to place, Quake, or push to attack. You're probably going to want to push off of this click depending on what this next click is. And I don't know. I mean, you can't do this. You either do it or don't, but if you know the dial, you're like, oh, I like this click better. I don't know if I like that click better. I mean, you got 3 damage, 8 attack. Here you have blades 2. Ultimately, I guess this click might be better because you have blades to potentially do more than 3 damage here, but you run the risk of doing 2 damage as well. It's depending on what you want to do. This guy tapers off pretty bad off the end with the 8 attacks, not that great, but he starts off pretty solid for 50 points. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing review of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter set. I have to give this some good ratings here because it's a really good starter set and it's the perfect set for a new player to get into because there's no special powers. You have your powers and ability card, everything at your disposal in the starter set. You should be able to play these figures, and they're actually pretty good, and there's good point values from 50 points, 100 points to 150 points. If you're looking to get into Heroclix and you don't like superheroes, or you do like superheroes, but you also like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, this is a great starter set to get into. The Avengers and X-Men starter sets are great as well, but this is good because it doesn't have complicated dials, and they're very, these are the dials that we grew up on playing Heroclix, where no special powers, very basic powers, but they were good, and you knew exactly what you were getting. You didn't need to look and ask your opponent for his cards because you didn't know what a special power did. Yes, there is, I believe, a trap here, but that's not that big of a deal. I'm sure after a while, everyone will really know how that works. But for the most part, this is a pretty good starter set. The sculpts look amazing, and the dials are really good, but they're not very complex and very complicated. So this is a good starter set to learn how to play the game. Alright guys, take it easy. If you're looking to purchase the Yu-Gi-Oh! Set, I have them on my website, glasscabinethobbies.com. Purchase them there. Take a look on my eBay site. I have a bunch of stuff also on for sale as well. So if you're looking for some Heroclix singles, definitely check out my website. And have a good day, guys, and subscribe and like, comment,